From WDW NT, the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is ParksCenter. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of ParksCenter. My name's Ben, and joining me we have Allison.
Good evening, everyone.
Jill.
Hello.
Rob.
What's up, guys?
And Pete.
Oh!
Muted! No!
Oh, mute!
No! Every week there's one. I was on such a hot streak. Marco, what's up, everybody?
Well, what's up is we're actually getting back to the news, and believe it or not, even with the parks closed, we've got plenty to talk about this week. Kicking things off with a bit of an update on Marvel's Avengers Campus coming to Disney's California Adventure. It's going to be opening on July 18th. According to an article posted back on March 11th. So far, we have not heard anything to contradict that fact. So we are still going at July 18th full bore, supposedly. But of particular note, we have some more details on the Spider-Man ride, which is going to be titled Web Slingers, A Spider-Man Adventure, or WEB. It actually stands for something in universe. Gosh, I know it's in this article. I can never remember it for the life of me what WEB stands for. Does anybody remember that
Worldwide
one?
Engineering Brigade.
There it is. I knew I could
you,
count
man.
on someone. Yeah, there you go.
This is my thing. Can I talk about this?
Go, run with it.
Okay. All right. So I was at the stockholders meeting in Raleigh when they announced that the date was July 18th, and so I was really I was really excited about it, and then they were like July 18th. Now, I actually happened to have a Disneyland annual pass, and it was supposed to expire on July 6th. So I was kind of bummed, and then now it's been extended, right? So I can actually go and go on the same annual pass. But there was an article that said that they had stopped any construction on this. So I'm not sure July 18th is still going to happen. But, a lot of the spoilers that we had early on the blog about this are coming true. But the thing that I'm most excited about on this is that Tom Holland is actually doing the pre-show. There was footage at the stockholders meeting of him walking through and doing the pre-show part of it, which is so cool because I thought the Ant-Man and Wasp thing was really cool that they did. Where it's actually Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly doing the pre-show. That was kind of cool, but we don't always see that. There are a lot of cases where we don't get the star to do the pre-show. So the fact that Tom Holland is doing it, I was really excited about. So I can't wait for this attraction. I'm hoping that it is more than just Toy Story Midway Mania, but we'll see.
Gosh.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks good.
It does, doesn't it?
To clarify and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that the Spider-Man ride is not opening with the Avengers Campus. That's coming later. But the details that were revealed are really exciting, and Marvel is not my thing. But the idea that you're going to be able as a guest to sling webs yourself is pretty exciting to me. Just throw your arm out and sling a web like Spider-Man. It's pretty exciting.
I thought that was part of the opening. Did they say it's not part of the opening anymore?
I'm trying to check that right now.
Because there's an e-ticket attraction that they announced at D23 that is a jetpack attraction that is based on the Avengers. That's not opening until phase 2.
That's what I didn't understand. Thank you.
This is phase 1.
Yeah. So
cool. Then I want to be there in July
or is that
too.
the same thing?
So what was that?
What's that?
Isn't there a Black Panther ride that's in phase 2, or is that phase 3?
No, not in the American version.
I
not
think
in the California version.
I think it's just Spider-Man and the Avengers e-ticket. I don't think there are any other attractions.
I'm convinced there's a Black Panther something coming.
The existing attraction is obviously Guardians Tower, and then they're going to have the Spider-Man ride, a Spider-Man web supplies gift shop. The microbrewery is going to be there, and then there you go. Look at that. The Doctor Strange show is going to be there. So this is phase 1. The Avengers gift shop will be there, but the Avengers gift shop will be that backstage area where it says Avengers gift shop. That's where that e-ticket attraction is supposed to be, in that parking lot back there. So again, they announced it at D23. They showed some concept art of a jetpack ride, but they didn't really get into too many details about that. But that's definitely phase 2.
Yeah, because you can definitely see that there's that building that attaches to the gift shop, like it's a ride that dumps to a gift shop, like they all do. So
Yeah.
And it's an
I don't
Avengers
think the
gift
walk-around
shop.
character. The
What was that about?
walk-around characters
they-
will be there. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
including Wakandans,
Yeah,
if that's what he was.
I'm looking this up right
thinking
now.
of.
That'd be cool.
I really appreciate the walk around, like how they have the walk around X-Men in Islands of Adventure. So I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I have some fun pictures with like Spider-Man or Wolverine from Islands of Adventure.
They already have the walk around characters right now over in DCA in California. So you can meet Spider-Man, Captain America, Black Panther, Thor. I don't know about. I don't know if he's still there or not. And Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Captain America are all already there. So you can already get your picture. And then Groot, they have a dance party thing. So.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I found an article. This is how good my memory is. From February 2018 that we wrote on WDW NT. Disney CEO Bob Iger hinted at the future Black Panther attraction while speaking with Wall Street investors on Monday, the Hollywood Reporter said. Quote, "No, we haven't had a chance to build a ride, although I'm sure people are working on it right now," said Iger about Black Panther attractions in the Disney parks. Now, again, that's all hearsay. But I knew that there was an article we wrote saying something like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that is very much hearsay, wishy-washy, maybe, but it's
good enough
possible
for me to make my argument.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next topic, fair warning: this next topic will have Avengers Endgame spoilers in it.
See ya.
Nothing else I got to say about that.
It's been like a year, people.
Bye, Pete.
You're kidding.
It's been a while, but I just wanted to give you the warning. So the Avengers Campus is not going to be canon with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The snap never happened, which it makes sense to me why they would want to do this, because it gives them access to at least one character that's very big in the franchise that they wouldn't get to have access to if they did this post-snap. There are other characters as well, but like Iron Man being, I said there'd be spoilers. This is it. With Iron Man being gone after that film, it's kind of hard to do what people think of as the Avengers without him there. So it makes sense to do this in kind of a parallel universe kind of deal.
It just frustrates me that they are like trying to, I don't know. It's like they want to have it both ways. They want to they want to pull in all the MCU stuff, but oh wait, but this isn't the MCU. And so if you look at the stuff that the Disney executives were saying about this, like it's all just this like gobbledygook. They're saying things like Loki takes the Tesseract over here and they're doing things over there. And in our timeline, we have a shared history, but we clearly live in a version of the multiverse where there are some characters who did not sacrifice themselves. There's a bit of fluidity to the timeline. Like they're just saying gobbledygook to justify doing what they want to do. And it's like they're trying to cram a square peg into a Tesseract-shaped hole, and it's just, it's not working. And I just, like, don't try so hard. Why do you have to try? Like, this is like Star Wars. Like, why did they have to try so hard with Galaxy's Edge to create this place that didn't exist, but they wanted it to exist in the universe? Like, it's just, they're
Woman, are you about to fight
it
on Star Wars land? I will go about Star Wars land. So let's not talk about that. But I will say,
you know how I feel about Star Wars land.
Okay. So anyway, but I will say that, like, it gives me, like, when you're talking about that, it reminds me a lot of Star Tours, and the fact that they throw all of those scenes together and they rotate scenes and characters that don't necessarily all fit in the same timeline, and you're getting like a snapshot of that. But I bet that, I mean, with all of the Marvel television coming to Disney Plus, they could retcon this with Loki basically pretty easily and say, you know, he's got the Tesseract, he's already going through time, he's setting up all these other, you know, places in the multiverse that are going to have different outcomes. So they could really retcon this with Loki alone and make it make sense in canon. But
why not? They retcon Beauty and the Beast. Why not retcon this?
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
mean, first of all, you just got to stop hating on Galaxy's Edge. You got to stop doing that.
They didn't have to. Okay, it's fine. Their
it's
explanation,
fine.
it's like they're trying to make an explanation that will satisfy Uber fans, except Uber fans are not going to be satisfied with this, and everybody else doesn't care. They just want to go and see their favorite characters in the park. They don't care whether it fits into the multiverse or not.
But this is going to be for fans, and so I do think they need to fix it and at least make something that's going to connect it, because the true fans are going to be there fighting and saying, well, he shouldn't be there or she shouldn't be there, because
the true
we lost them in the
fans are used to decades of comic books that have like 20 different storylines with people dying and people not dying. Like, they're used to that. That's what comics is. They didn't have to do this.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think that we all want the same timeline now, because back in the day they didn't really care that Batman never aged. Now they kind of address that in the modern comics. So I feel like modern comic goers are going to want this retcon in some way, shape, or form. But we'll see.
I just want to put a little bit of emphasis on, I really like your idea of like a Disney Plus show with Loki just going through time and messing with things, like Marvel's Legends of Tomorrow. Like, that would be such a cool idea.
He does have the Tesseract. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
gosh, that would be so much fun.
Guys, what's the snap?
Oh, moving on to our next topic.
Just FYI, everybody, Pete saw Infinity War, but he did not, or he saw Endgame, but he did not see Infinity War.
Yeah, that's fact.
Yeah. I saw these Marvel movies in this order: Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Endgame.
Cut to the chase, man. Cut out all that nonsense.
Totally caught me up, but that's a story for another time. Let's talk about.
That's going to be in the post show. I'm going to have to dig those texts up. That was fun.
I'm going to put the fun.
I think I saved them.
Oh gosh, yeah. Let's talk about these funding choices that the Disney company has made. So, Disney execs have taken some salary cuts because of the COVID-19 closures that we've got going on. There are temporary furloughs of executive salaried and non-union cast members, and at this point we've got a lot of the unions also being furloughed because they just had to negotiate that separately. We've got all the construction being ceased across Walt Disney World, like Rob talked about earlier, also in Disneyland. But Disney's purchased 26.3 acres of land west of the Magic Kingdom at the Walt Disney World Resort. Is this a problem? Because this sounds vaguely problematic in my head, that we're not able to pay cast members, but we can go buy new land.
I understand that in principle, but go to how much this actually costs the company.
Yep.
And or like 1.05 million, I think. Like, it's basically nothing to them. That is like, I don't know, like this annual salary of like a handful of senior executives.
That's pretty much what they're not paying Chapek.
Lose this amount of money. This is like you can lose this in the Disney books. Like, do we buy something? I don't know. Whatever. It's a few cents. Like, this is nothing. This helps them dramatically, and that's a nice piece of land right next to the Magic Kingdom. This, again, I want cast members paid. Everyone knows I am Captain Cast Member, but this is a no-brainer. Like, if I had 1.059 million, I would have outbid Disney, because that land is worth way more than that. It's right next to where they are. This is a no-brainer, probably the best purchase they made since Pixar or Star Wars.
Well, also, so just gonna I think they cut Bob Chapek's salary by half, right? And that was his base salary is like 2.5 million. So this is about what they're not paying Bob Chapek. Mm-hmm. But also, we talked about this a little bit on News Tonight last week. And the rationale from Tom is that this is basically to be used as green space. Like, I think Disney needs to preserve a certain amount of their property as undeveloped land. So this is, I don't think it's mostly usable land. I think it's land that they're going to keep undeveloped. Yeah, exactly.
This is like watershed. This is, and again, I believe the promise is a third. That a third of their land will never be used. It'll be there for preservation, quote unquote. So whether they're just keeping it unused, but they're using it like, our water runs into this giant acreage, then whatever.
They bought this so they can build other places.
Yeah, so this allows them to use other parts of their property to build because they have more area to conserve, and also it definitely helps environmentally for Disney. I'm sure Magic Kingdom wise. It's right next to the Magic Kingdom. It's a perfect location.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be solar farms. They're using a lot of area for solar farms.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It also preserves that land from becoming developed in any way, because there have been a lot of housing developments springing up just on the outskirts of Disney property. So I can
Very
understand
good point.
Yeah,
if they don't own that land that's like right there, just take
This
it
is
now.
like the Anaheim rule. Buy
Yeah,
it
I was
before
going to say,
someone
ever
else
since
does.
Disneyland, that's been a problem for them.
Buy it before someone else does. You block the other people from coming in, and also too, you block your competition. I mean, look how much land Universal and everyone else is building up around there. I mean, as it is, they're willing to build parks where you have to take a bus 15, 20 minutes away for your third gate, or well, their fourth gate. But yeah,
Sure.
I love this.
Yeah,
This is a great decision. I think, I don't know, it'd be hard pressed to find someone who thinks this is a terrible idea. Granted, the economical climate is not good.
If you count Volcano Bay as a third gate, then don't you have to count Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon as fifth and sixth gates?
And Disney Springs, we have 7 gates.
Oh, God.
7.
There's no
We have
gate.
7.
Oh,
Yeah, 7.
there's no gate at Disney Springs.
Oh, there's lots of gates. There's the Orange Gate, the Lime Gate, the
That's a
Grapefruit
garage.
Gate. Oh, sorry. Other Jeep.
You do walk
I
through a
wonder-
gate when you take the boat launches over.
Oh, my gosh.
Facts.
I thought the
I knew I was
madness
right.
was over.
Check
I think we need to kind of remind ourselves, though, that we don't call it a third gate, Volcano Bay. They call it a third gate at Volcano
Yeah.
Bay, and I refuse to call that a third gate. That is just half a water park is what that is. But I'm not a huge fan of water parks anyway. But I don't know if we know this. Do we know if Disney got a deal on this because maybe whoever was selling it was trying to recoup something because of the COVID epidemic or pandemic? I mean, maybe that's why the timing is, what it is it's available right now for cheaper. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, that's just a guess.
That's a fair guess,
assume-
but I don't think we have anything concrete to back that up at this point. We do
Okay,
know
can
that
you
the
call
seller
somebody?
was the Lake Reedy Development Group, LLC, but we don't
That's
know.
Disney.
That's the
Disney.
no.
They were, yeah.
What? Hang on.
Disney owns Reedy Creek. Disney literally owns everything that has
Yeah,
Reedy
like,
Creek in front of it.
but-
That is whatever you want to call it. Reedy Creek Construction, Reedy Creek Development, Reedy Creek Fire Department, Reedy Creek. Anything with Reedy Creek is Disney.
Yeah. Where it says Orange County Records Show Bin, that means that was a shell company that they used, I believe.
That's Lake
is
Reedy,
that-
but it's not Reedy Creek. It's Lake Reedy Development.
But that says it. I'm pulling that back up. That says that that's the seller, though.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't say Reedy Creek. It's Lake Reedy.
Lake Reedy. Lake Reedy
Yeah.
Development Group. Oh, so very.
yeah, that's not
we
Reedy Creek.
almost said Reedy Creek, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
I'll let it get by here.
We clearly knew that we were buying land right next to Disney and sitting on it. Like, that was our whole point. And then we got paid off for it, it looks like. So, okay.
Yeah,
that makes
someone
sense.
sadly passed, and then that grandson was like, "Wait, you're going to give me $1 million for this land I can't build anything on? Sign me up." Meanwhile, they were holding on to that, like, "Well, we're going to make millions." And this kid's like, "Give me one, a little over $1 million." We're like, "We'll give you 1.05," and he's like, "Cha-ching, Richie Rich."
All right, let's recoup a little bit of lost time here. Moving on to some changes in food prices. Food and beverage price increase. This was published April 7th. What? No one's in the park. Why are we increasing prices on food when no one's in the park to eat it?
I wish we could show people what we see about food prices
So funny.
and how like we basically get information every day about food price changes because we have ways. We have smarty pants people like Ben working for us. So we
that's
see
Michael.
this, like we see what the menu prices are every day, and we can compare what they were yesterday to what they were today. And yes, food prices have been going up like consistently in a bunch of places. And so the other thing that's happening is stuff is coming off the menus. The menus are getting smaller, and that makes sense to me. Like, I can totally understand them. Like, basically Disney probably had to throw out or donate most of their perishable food at this point. So they're going to have to start all over. And at this point, they don't know when they're reopening. So I get that they want to have to start from scratch, basically, with a limited menu. That makes a ton of sense. But the fact that they're jacking up food prices, just, they're already, I don't know, they're already going to be facing issues. You know, we've heard things like it's going to take 2 years for park attendance to get back to normal, which, you know, I don't know if I believe that. It's speculation, but it's speculation from, you know, investment companies and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy to me that they're jacking up food prices when no one's in the park. It's like, you know, when there's a COVID crisis and everybody's sheltering in place, and then, you know, people who are leaking information that people in high up administrations don't want out get fired when nobody's looking. It feels like that.
You know why they're doing this?
You know
I have
what?
this like. Go ahead, Allison.
I think we both have theories here. My theory is that the people who have had their vacations canceled because Disney is closed, they have been offering free dining to them. And so I'm like, oh, they need to pay for all these people's free dining packages. So they've got to up everybody who's paying
I was
for
going
it.
to say the same thing. What I was going to say is that Disney is giving the farm away to bring people back in. So I wouldn't be surprised if you saw discounts on food. To be honest, it could be as crazy as they literally discount food like 2 weeks into the opening and just say, like, across the board, we're giving everyone 25% off food. And they raise food costs like 15%. So it's only like a 10% cut in their pocket. But Allison's right.
I mean, plenty of retailers do that.
Oh my gosh, we're the Coles of food.
It is. It's totally. I was
give us
thinking
sales.
exactly that.
Yeah. So I was thinking that, but also I was going to say literally what Allison said is the free dining packages, all the discounts they're going to give. Although I do wish, like, that. Imagine Chapek was so far removed where he didn't realize no one was in the parks. Where he's like, "Man, food sales are really down. We got to raise these prices. It's a shame. We only sold one hot dog," and it's like the one security guy who walks around and just was honest, swiped his credit card. Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling this is to make up for the cost because they're going to give the farm away to get people back in the parks. Because even when you reopen the parks, you'll have the nuts like me show up. But people are going to be very apprehensive for a long time before they go back to especially large crowds like Disney, where everyone touches everything and is included in activity.
And it's interesting, you know, if you're talking about they're jacking up these prices to offset the free dining, well, the people who are getting the free dining are people who are booking their full vacation packages through Disney, and the people that are not getting free dining, who are basically footing this bill, are pass holders.
Yeah.
So all of you Florida residents who don't book vacation packages and don't stay on property are the ones who are paying these higher prices. So
y'all
that
thought you were getting a
else.
free extension on your pass. You're not. You're just paying for it in a way you weren't expecting.
I'm calling my attorney.
Oh no, we're not doing that again. No. Oh gosh. Moving on to something that I guess will help with the social distancing a bit, I suppose. There's been an update to the Disneyland app that suggests that there's going to be a lot more use of virtual queues at Disney parks as a whole. So we did a little bit of digging to confirm this. At Haston on Twitter found this as well. There's a new update in the Disneyland app that refers, instead of to boarding groups, as my queues. As in, like, there could be
more than
multiple lines that you could be getting in. Maybe not necessarily at the same time. We don't know how the implementation is going to work, but possibly
they
you
don't
could
know.
Get in line. Yeah, they'll figure it out when they get there. But there's looking to be more virtual queuing, not less. Even though there's been a lot of heartburn over the system.
I feel a little bit like I have some kind of supernatural powers, because this morning I was walking my dog and I was talking to my dad, and I was like, you know, this is a perfect time for Disney to really reimagine queuing and figure out some kind of virtual queue, because people are not going to want to stand like in these close quarters anymore. I also think that as the parks reopen, they're probably going to have to decrease capacity, either because they don't have enough cast members to handle it, or just because for public health concerns, that they don't want quite as many people in the parks at one time. And so if they're going to have virtual queues where people are able to walk around and see other parts of the park, and you have fewer people in the park, that makes it even more possible. So this is really the perfect time to pilot that and get it rolled out and get people more comfortable with the idea of being in a theme park.
Here's the thing, though. I think that's going to work initially when the parks reopen. And you're absolutely right. I think there's going to be reduced capacity, whether it's because they can't handle it, whether it's because they're limiting to try to. I think what they're probably going to do is limit so that they can reopen as soon as possible. They're going to have a lot more easier time reopening sooner if they say we're going to limit the number of people that are allowed to enter the park. And I think there's going to be diminished demand initially. Like people aren't going to. There are some people that are going to jump as soon as the parks reopen, but the vast majority of, typical tourists are not going to do that. They're going to be apprehensive. And I think it's going to work initially when there's not that many people in the park. But if you're talking about a park at a normal capacity day of, how the parks have been for the last few years, where every day is crowded, where are these people? If they're not in a queue, where are they going to go? Like eventually this is going to do nothing for social distancing, because if they're not crammed together in a queue line, they're crammed together at Casey's Corner, they're crammed together in the Emporium, or they're crammed together somewhere else, because the park doesn't have enough capacity to keep these people busy anywhere else. The park runs on the idea that at any given time, 50% of guests are standing in a queue and aren't out and about in the park engaging in other activities that need to keep them distracted. So I don't think this is sustainable at all when the park is at its normal attendance, but initially I think it would be. And it's an interesting thing to try, but I don't know when I don't know how this is going to be a long-term solution.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing, just really quick, just that literally, I mean, it's a great point in terms of capacity in the parks, but I see this also as they're going to be rolling out a lot of new things over the next year and a half, 2 years. I think this is going to primarily, and I'm hoping, just be for new rides. So you had boarding groups for Rise of the Resistance. Mm-hmm. I feel like once Guardians of the Galaxy Coaster opens up, Tron opens up, you have Ratatouille. I feel like a lot of these, it's going to be a lot fast attraction-wise, but we're not used to seeing so much new stuff so quickly with obviously 2020, then you have 2021 for the 50th, and then Epcot 2022, a lot more stuff opening then, Spaceship Earth reopening. So I'm hoping this is just when new rides debut before they go to Fast Pass. But I really want them to keep Fast Pass, and they have to keep regular old school lines. What are people going to do? There's only so much time you can spending money on merch and food. You got to stand somewhere. So, and whatever. We're already over time.
Quote of the night, you got to stand somewhere. I like that.
You got to stand somewhere.
College program students are going to be standing around Epcot, it seems like so. Unfortunately, the Disney Internships and Cultural Representative programs have been suspended starting April 18th, going all the way through the early June arrivals. The big highlight from here is that second bullet point. We will not be able to welcome future Disney internship and program participants who were due to arrive through early June. We will also be refunding their program fees. So it looks like Disney is not particularly confident that everything is going to be 100% back to normal starting June. Now, this doesn't necessarily imply that they think the parks won't be open, just that they don't need the additional manpower of the college program at this time. Which means that they're expecting crowds to be light or non-existent, or they might just be hedging a bet that they're still going to be closed, and they don't want to pay to fly all these people down just to have them U-turn and fly all the way back.
Listen, Disney had it so good. Sorry, Rob, I just saw your hand. I'll be real quick. Disney had it so good, especially in the last, I want to say 18 months to 2 years, is they were constantly doing unprecedented price raises on tickets, merchandise, food, annual pass raises. They just kept raising prices, sometimes faster than every year. Mm-hmm. And we still showed up. Crowds were still bigger than ever. They were in a golden age of Disney. They were making up tours. They're like, oh, this is our stepping stone tour. That's a rock. That's anything they did was making money. So now, all of a sudden, that you have this crazy virus, you've lost millions. No one's showing up not no one, but a lot of people won't even show up to the parks. My friends told me today, we're not coming until we get vaccinated. So whenever that vaccine hits, then we're going back out. And they say that could be a year away. So this next at least 12-month period, at least, I think is going to be very hard on Disney. You definitely will not need as much cast. They're not going to see the crowds they saw. And I don't think they're going to lower ticket prices. They might just keep them the same for 2 years now. Or they might give extreme discounts on hotel stays or food like we've talked about. Mm-hmm. But they're not going to need that extra staff, sadly, and this hurts me the most because I know how excited these college, and I'm old now, so I say kids, but these college guys and gals are, like, to get that letter and be so excited to come in and then all of a sudden having it canceled is like having your heart ripped out. So I really feel for them. I also feel like they're some of the best cast members. And again, not across the board all the time, but they're excited to be there. There's that sense of working for Disney and really having an impact on someone's vacation. So this breaks my heart for them, but I mean, I totally get it for Disney. It's Disney's about, this is going to, a lot of people are saying this is going to be similar to post 9/11. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I feel for them. My heart goes out to anyone who is an intern or college program.
Rob, you still got something? Or?
Yeah, no, I do. I just so my son actually has applied for a college program and actually had an interview like 3 weeks ago. So what I think they're doing is they're taking the people who were there and saying, okay, we have to send you home, and then the next group realizing that they're not going to have a chance to start up, but they are already looking at the next batch, which in some ways seems a little unfair. If you've got this group of kids that haven't gone down yet because of they're supposed to go in June, like, why wouldn't you bump them up a little bit? But maybe they're in a situation where they can't because of their circumstance in college or whatever. So it looks like that they're continuing to interview and to look at candidates for the fall. This would have been Fall Advantage, the group that came in June. Then they're looking, I think, at the next group for fall. But you're right, Pete. It is kind of heartbreaking. I follow a lot of people on Instagram who are in college program, and it's just really sad. Especially they start up these accounts. They're like, "This is going to be my whole journey," and then it's already at an end. So it is. It's very sad to see that.
Man, you put it like that. That's brutal. So rough.
Yeah.
Way to end the show on this kind of note, man. Jeez.
I mean, there's always.
We could have been talking about funding choices and how great it is they bought land, but instead, hey, sorry you guys don't have jobs. Thanks for watching ParksCenter.
Well, we could talk about the fact that Patrick Hackett is on Deep in the Plus, and we're talking about Mars Needs Moms this week, so you can check that out.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was a
Can
good
I plug
get.
my show too?
Yeah, go for it. We've all got shows now.
I don't have Patrick Hackett. But Yeehaw Bob is on Party with Pete tomorrow. So if you're around tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 11 to 2, Yeehaw Bob is my special guest. And we're talking quarantine at Walt Disney World.
Hey, when you talk to him, will you see if he'll do a Deep in the Plus with me?
Absolutely. I bet you he has some like deep Disney favorite movie that he would love to do with you.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Something
ragtimey. I'll tell you some stories in the post show. In the post show, we'll talk about me and Yeehaw Bob's emails, and I'll tell you why I think he would do Deep in the Plus.
Okay. I'm in.
I love it. I've got to plug something here. It's not a show though. It's all of you folks. It's the WIGS, the WDW NT Interglobe Society. It's how we refer to our patrons. You can head on over to patreon.com/WDWNT to get access to our post shows, the post shows for News Tonight, a whole host of other benefits for being a WIGS member, and also help support this show and all the other shows you love on the network. So patreon.com/WDWNT if you haven't checked that out yet. We also have WDWNT Live going on right now, of which I'm trying to get the schedule for you folks so that we can tell you all about what's coming up for that. So there we go.
Vamping.
So this is ParksCenter Wednesday night. Tomorrow morning, April 9th, we got Party with Pete. We've also got WDW News Tonight at 9 p.m., just like always. On Friday at noon, we're going to have Colleen's Crafting Corner. We're going to be making some Disney-themed scrapbook pages. And then at 8 p.m., we've got the Digital Dance Party, which is honestly this really cool concept we've got. So if you've got like kids or just enjoy dancing party into Disney music, clear some space. And at 8 p.m., join us, and we'll have a virtual live dance party where everybody can get together and dance from our own homes together.
Yeah, music is personally curated by Cosmic Reed.
Indeed.
Woo! You can have Mouse Dance It in your own home.
Mouse can dance it.
Saturday morning, 11 a.m., we've got Locked In with Eric Morton, which is Eric's essentially weekly talk show at this point. I don't know any specifics about that show for this week, but I am excited to find out what he's got going on this time. 9 p.m. that night. We've got Ride Rehab Watches, again, another pseudo-weekly series we've got at this point, where I sit down with the Ride Rehab folks and Matthew Soberman, and we watch some weird Disney movies. Or not movies, but Disney clips, usually. Things like park anniversaries, Figment educational specials, all sorts of weird stuff.
Love it.
Sunday morning, we've got some watch-alongs in the morning. We've got the new pressing issues segment that night. I am losing my ability to speak, so I'm going to cut this show short at this point. Thank you all for joining us. We will be around for the post-show. I'm going to get some water to drink before then, and we will see you all next week. Bye.
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 See Marco!
Stay safe.
Wash your hands and stay inside. Make sure you wear a mask to the supermarket. Da 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 da.